So, how much do you think we need the story of Harriet right now? And it's someone who's just got so much inner strength. It's kind of so admirable to see a film like this and a character like this on screen.
I think it's important. I mean, I think sadly, if you go onto Twitter or turn on the news or whatever it is today, you're flooded by stories of division and of families being torn apart. It's a very topical, obviously, at the moment, and stories of prejudice. And so, not to make more of it than it is, but if there's ever a figure who kind of symbolises the fight against that and challenges that and shows the most amazing bravery and strength and courage in the face of that, then Harriet seems to be much at the top of the list.
I mean, you obviously play quite a nasty piece of work in this, but do you have to try and like him or empathise with him to embody a role? Not just this character, just to kind of across your career. Do you think actors who play characters need to have a sense of sympathy towards the role in any way, shape, or form, just to be able to play them? Or
I think you have to try and understand why they behave the way they behave, of course, and understand where they're coming from. Doesn't mean you ever like them. I mean, someone like Gideon, there's not really anything redeeming about those people and what they did, which makes it hard to connect to. And so you have to kind of root around in them and their experiences for things that you can latch onto. And with Gideon, his own kind of deep confusion about what he feels deep down for Harriet, even though there's not a language to kind of express that or know what that is for himself, it's those human elements you try and hold on to.
Because obviously the character Gideon says a lot of nasty stuff to Cynthia's Harriet. Did you keep apologising off the tape? I would just sort of say something, just as soon as he sat, as Casey shouted cut, just sort of say, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what he says is kind of despicable. But there are no games played on set where people went off and sat in corners by themselves in between takes, because it just wouldn't have helped the film. And there was very much an atmosphere of everyone had given permission to each other to go where they needed to go and do what they needed to do in the scene. And it was a good bunch of people.
I mean, she's brilliant in the film, Cynthia. What was it like collaborating with her on this project?
She's amazing. Yeah, she's really formidable and perfect in this part, I think. And I think she'd been signed on for a couple of years before anyone else, so she was completely ready to go, and she trained so hard for it, both obviously emotionally, but also physically. It's a really physical role, and she was always kind of working out for it, and I think she's amazing in the role.
I mean, don't usually ask actors this because being British in an American film isn't actually an abnormal thing in any way, shape, or form. But this story feels so American. I just wondering what was it like being one of the kind of leading figures in the movie, but being a British actor.
It wasn't something I thought about a huge amount. I know it's such an important American story, and I hope it means a lot to a lot of people for that reason. I think being an actor, your job is to be someone you're not, and so whether that means you're American or you're French or whatever you are, you just kind of do your job and to the best of your ability.
So what are you working on at the moment? Got any exciting projects lined up?
I've got.
That you're allowed to talk about.
I've got, as well as this coming out, I've got something coming out around Christmas time, which is like a darker, twisted version of A Christmas Carol, which Steve Knight, who wrote Peaky Blinders, wrote, and that's with Guy Pearce and Andy Serkis and Stephen Graham. And the little bit on Souvenir 2, the Joanna Hogg movie, and just about to start a job next week, which is based on the book called Last Letters from Your Lover, with Felicity Jones and Shailene Woodley.
I mean, because it's been an incredible kind of couple of years for you. Have you kind of? I was speaking to Cynthia about this as well, because she's had a similarly kind of big rise in the last sort of 2 years. Have you had a moment yet to kind of stop and just think, God, this is pretty incredible? To kind of a leading role in an Ang Lee movie to sort of hear. I mean, what's this? Have you stopped to kind of take it all in yet, or has it been a bit too fast paced?
Yeah, I mean, I feel very fortunate to be working at all, and so to get to do it with these people who I've kind of grown up admiring and watching their films, I just feel very, very lucky.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Cheers. Thank you.